Bobo, Richard, this show, you know this. I don't have to tell you this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
Okay.
This convention, these panels run like a well-oiled machine.
They really do.
Except right now. This is the one
Awkward,
weird part. Yes.
awkward changeover.
The weird transition. We have not worked it out.
We've never done it right.
And we're not going to do it right today.
Correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. I'm so glad that's over. I was looking at the audience when that happened. And so was that you saying, oh my gosh, it's the last show of the year?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, for a split second I thought it was you. And I was like, oh, look at Robbie, yeah, last show of the year. And then you go, make it big, don't fuck it up. I'm like, wow, Robbie, oh, that was me too. It's really harsh.
I didn't say anything. I was holding that chair for dear life. Now he said it all. But hey, you made it through 2017, Matt. You see,
man, it's a good thing. That's
I've never seen this panel before. What do you guys do?
well, nothing.
Can I watch?
It's embarrassing.
This is a sideshow, a circus of sorts.
The band sprains their ankle to get off stage. It's awkward.
That's like
you just see nothing backstage.
Well, because like, you know, you and I are on stage so much, Robbie.
Right.
We come up and then it's like, they're excited to see Matt.
Right.
Jump on. You and I are basically like Matt's bodyguards.
That's true.
It's true. I'm here, guys. Good news. You've seen them all weekend long.
I'm excited.
You had some Rob on Friday and some Rich on Friday, and now you get Matt on Saturday. And
Yeah.
It's Matter Day.
a bunch of other people are here
Matter Day.
today.
Matter Day.
Matter Day.
You know, it's like Rich Day and Rob Earth Day.
It'll work. That's why we don't have our own day.
It really works though, right? But you made it through 2017 without spraining anything.
Yeah,
Just that chair.
Like it was like, that's like my 16th jump of the year, I feel like, or 17. How many did we do you know?
Brother?
So many.
I don't even know.
So many. I don't even know. I feel like this is the same conversation we've had 13 times looking at each other.
Well, it's funny too because we're not quite in San Francisco. We're in Burlingame.
Burlingame.
We're quite outside the city of San Francisco. So every morning this weekend, we've been here since Wednesday. I've woken up and gone, wait, where are we? Because it doesn't. You don't look out and see the Golden Gate Bridge. You know? You
See the airport and water.
Yeah. And I look down and in my hotel room, there's like a little magazine that says San Francisco. I'm like, all right.
We're somewhere near that.
Yeah.
We're nearest San Francisco.
I love San Francisco. I'll have to go someday.
Did you, you got to go in the city last night. Did you went to North Beach?
We went to North Beach, buddy. And you know what? At night, North Beach really turns on at night.
Really?
Yeah, you really to appreciate it. I think you've got, what you took me years ago, you really got to appreciate it by night. It's amazing. All those little restaurants and went to, gelato place and, yeah, so it's really great.
What, do you remember what street you were on? Do you remember where you were?
No, but at one point we looked and a block down was your church that you talk about.
Oh, okay. The Holy Church of Dick?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had it here.
Yeah, there's this statue of Rich out front going,
It's our home base.
With a collection basket.
yeah. And a t-shirt.
If you look at the collection basket, you'll see Ruth walking by and just taking things from it. Stealing.
It was fun. It was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, this being our last panel of the year,
We should not answer any questions.
exactly. Do it. I'm sorry, everybody. No, I guess we should reverse our usual unhelpful approach and actually answer questions. So here we go. We're going to start. Let's start. All right, you.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, what's your favorite aspect of all your characters on Supernatural?
Favorite aspect of all our characters on Supernatural?
I thought at first you were going to say, what's your favorite ass? And I was going to say, Matthew Cohen.
I was immediately going to say
Matthew Cohen.
Rob Benedict because
Don't judge.
So my favorite aspect of Chuck?
Chuck.
I mean, my favorite thing about Chuck is that he's the most unlikely God that there is, and that he likes, he likes to drink and travel. One of my favorite lines that Chuck said in season 11 was that he, where have you been? Well, I've been traveling a lot. Started a blog, and I had some boyfriends, I had some girlfriends. I thought that was a pretty cool aspect of Chuck that Robbie Thompson wrote in. So I would say that the bisexual God is.
That is awesome.
I'm quite proud of that.
Right, that's one of those things that Supernatural does really well. It's a forward-thinking show. It's ahead of the curve on that. You've talked about that a lot, and it's a very valid point and a great story point, and well done by Robbie and the whole group. If you pull yourself out of that moment for a second and think, what would it have been like to be, like, you dated guys and girls, which means you broke up with them. Like, you weren't, God's not an easy cat to date. I'm going to go on a limousine.
He kind of rolls right through.
You know what I mean? Like he's kind of confident about a lot of stuff. Yeah. He's going to have a him complex. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was quite selfishly just thinking of myself. And what fun that must have been.
You really laid waste to a lot of broken hearts out there.
Yeah.
God.
I know. It's like being God's little brother. You don't need God's little brother.
Chip.
Yeah. Why can't you be more like your brother? He's God! What's your favorite, your favorite thing about Gabriel?
I think my favorite thing about Gabriel was that at the end of the day, he died fighting for humanity. I thought that was a cool element to his personality that they put in there.
And he loves porn.
Listen, the brother's gotta have a hobby, you know what I mean? Okay, no jury would convict, except for juries who find that illegal. But other than that, no jury would convict. No, so I think that he stood up for what he thought was right and died in the process of doing it. Died for a noble cause, I would say.
Michael, young John.
Wow, I have nothing compared to that or yours. My favorite aspect of young John is that he used his loins to make 13 seasons of Supernatural.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
That's pretty magic. It's pretty. You know what? Cohen 1.
Yeah, Cohen won.
Benedict 0.
Round 1 goes to Cohen.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good.
Great. All three of you are beautiful and amazing, and I love you all.
But
My questions, fondest questions for...
So my question is, now that we have this other world and there seems to be no real rules on Supernatural, that any characters can come back at any time, which thanks. If and when Trickster comes back, what pranks would you like to pull on the boys? And this can be a
man, Lord, I don't know. I feel like I'm answering your question by not answering your question. I don't know what pranks I want to pull on the boys. No idea. But I've always thought it'd be interesting if this has been a little fun thing I've thought about on panels over the years. That if in Hammer of the Gods, Gabriel was able to fool, the trickster was able to fool the room full of pagan gods that he was the trickster still. Wait a minute. Trickster fooled them to think he was Gabriel. Wait a minute. Gabriel? No, wait, hold on.
This sounds like Supernatural.
Gabriel still was in the trickster. Hold on, wait. Now I'm confused. I haven't seen the show in a while. Hold on. I think Gabriel's walking around in the meat suit that somehow fools everybody to think that he's the trickster, right? Like that he's hiding as the trickster. So it tells me that somewhere the actual trickster is locked away while Gabriel roams the earth of the universe being the trickster. So I would like to see the trickster escape and battle Gabriel for the original meat suit. I would just like to see that play out. So that, I know that's not a prank, but that's a storyline I wish would have happened at some point. Do you have any pranks like in your mind? Did you go like, ooh, I'd love to see the trickster do blah blah blah?
Not particularly. I just want to see you back in any shape or form.
Nice. You're very kind. Very kind. Fingers crossed. Thank you for your question. Appreciate it. You.
Hi. My question is for Richard.
Okay.
One of my lifelong dreams is to become a director, and I just wanted to ask you, as I get more experiences in my film class, where do you draw from your creative energy to get a project done? in an episode that you've worked on?
For Supernatural, like specifically?
Yes.
I draw my energy to get it done based on the fact that there's strict deadlines and I have to get it done. Truly, I do think there's something about it. All three of us have made our own projects. And then we've all worked for big companies who do their own thing. And there's a very different driving force behind doing something for somebody else and doing something for yourself. And so, when you're making your own project, when I made my own short films, and I was petrified doing that when I was a younger guy, great advice from other film school buddies was, set the date, hire the crew, or invite your buddies to be the crew, whatever it's going to be, and set the date and arrange that's the date you're going to start. And build everything backwards from there. Because if you keep waiting for everything to be perfect, the situation to be perfect, the script to be perfect, everything to be perfect, you will never shoot anything. That's just the way it works. Because there'll always be a problem. Filmmaking is rife with problems, and what you do is you fix them and shoot the story the best way you can at the time. So, if you're talking about making your own project, you set a deadline. That's when I'm shooting. You know, there's something motivating about having 20 people in your living room going, what are we doing? I mean, you certainly got to have a plan at that point. And I think that was a big driving force for me for executing a lot of the short films. I don't know if that was your experience with the sidekick, if that helped, but like that was one thing that really helped me, was just to draw a line in the sand and say, I'm having a crew show at my house, so I better be ready to shoot for my own project. In terms of Supernatural, you know, it's in a very tight schedule. You know, it's all preordained when you'll be shooting and how many days you'll be shooting and how much prep you have. So you just have to work your face off within the framework of that, you know, schedule to be sure that you get everything you need done, because once that time elapses, there's nothing else you can do. So it's very, very much about being creative while balancing time management. And you have a very seasoned crew of people who help you do that and do what they do very well at the highest level. But your job as a director is to come in, and as experimental as you want to be and as interesting as you want to shoot it, that's all neat. But if you don't get all the scenes shot, you don't have an episode. So you have to be very judicious in how you decide to shoot your show, because there are larger things at play than just, I have 8 days. You have 8 days, but you have 8 days, a limited number of hours. You don't have the actors every day. You have to be very specific about how you schedule everything and run it like a business. And when you do that, then you can have fun within that framework, but you have to approach it with a very specific time management discipline.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Looks like you also have a great career as a doctor / Castiel happening.
Doc DL?
No, it's Crazy Cast mixed with Leviathan Cast, because I just didn't have the rest of the costume.
Right.
But did my own thing.
I
love it.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Good stuff.
Great talk.
Hi.
Hello.
So my question is, in general for all of you, but it's mainly directed at Matt. You have posted a lot of inspirational quotes on your Instagram, and I was wondering, out of all of them, what's the most inspirational and what's the one that you can easily remember?
None of them at all. I put them up and I forget them immediately. I don't know why this always happens to me. People always ask me. I put so many quotes up and then they're like, oh, tell me a quote that really sticks in your mind. And I'm like, I honestly, none of them. Every day I wake up and I think I need to put out some kind of positive energy for myself and for whoever's watching or paying attention. And I search around the internet or I look at somebody else's Instagram and something strikes me. I don't know. It's a moment, it's a thought. It gets the ball rolling on me. A positive day and trying to do good things. And, I just find something happy and I put it out there. That's the quote that I would like you to remember. Find something happy and put it out there.
Quote. Matt Cohen. That's right.
And then, because I said it was directed at all of you, I was wondering, Rob and Rich, if you had any quotes that you remembered from his Instagram.
No. I remember hashtag you.
Hashtag you. I remember that. No, but I do read them, and I'm always like, yeah. I like that one.
I remember one time Matthew was talking about his Instagram posts, and we were in Australia, and he was talking about it, and somebody said something about loving his posts and how he comes up with them, and so he was talking about the genesis of the process, and so he was like, this, that, and I was down on my dumps, so I started, putting quotes up for myself, and it really became myself, and then I realized maybe they could help other people, so I started doing that hashtag you shit now.
But it was meant to sound like,
that hashtag you stuff. But it said hashtag you shit now, which is a very
The Australians like when I curse, so I swear a little more there. And now it's when I go there, it's
hashtag you shit now.
Yes.
But also very helpful.
It's
if you're having problems in the bathroom.
It is, but maybe not now. You know, like
No,
sort
not
of
the spin.
hashtag you shit now.
You have to be able to choose when you need that hashtag.
And that's probably the easy suggestion. You shit when you're ready.
I have to go to the bathroom. We only have 5 minutes. I got just the thing. One time you had a loud swing lyric, didn't you?
I did. It was about, and I'm gonna destroy it, so you fix it. But it was about the wood burning, or
Oh yeah. Oh, it's station breaks.
station breaks,
Yeah.
and it was the wood burns in the fire, but that's all we got is the wood. I love the quote, and Robbie and I talked about it, and it means something different to me than it kind of meant to him. But still a positive thing, kind of,
About
you
life.
know. Do you remember the lyrics?
Yeah, it's
I probably just ruined it forever.
no. If you have some wood, build a fire, because that's all we got is the wood. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's,
Hold on.
We're gonna Google it. The thing is, I know that it's a cool quote.
what song is it from?
It's a cool quote that they
Automatic.
talked about, and it's a really neat phrasing and lyric. But
Yeah.
right now, it sounds like Rob's reading from a camping manual. Gather dry tinder.
I always know that you're going to say something disparaging when you say, I know it's great, and Rob's great, and the song's great.
Well, that's disparaging. It's just describing the.
Here we go, guys. Here's the lyric. I don't mean to be a downer, the message is good. If you build a fire, enjoy the wood. It's the only thing that we got. It's the wood.
There you go.
It's a great quote. It's a great lyric, man.
Yeah, crazy
Love it.
pants that I wrote it and I can't remember it. But thank you
Because
very
it's
much.
like one of those flow state amazing things that happen. I'll share a little something with you guys. Rich, you know this, and Rob, you know this. When you guys get like you have a great scene as an actor, and you do that scene, and it could be 6 pages, 8 pages, 10 pages, and you do the scene, and you're just kind of like, whoo! Was it good? Did I do it? How you just don't remember when your best stuff comes out because you're lost in that moment of time.
Right.
That's
awesome.
what I'm gonna pretend happened with that lyric.
That's incredible.
Thank you for the question.
Thank
Wherever
you,
were.
thank you everybody. Thank you, both of you and Rich. Excellent work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know what? Thank me too.
I did. I said both of you.
I was just thinking myself. Also, thank you.
Hashtag you should know.
Hashtag thank you shit now. All right, you.
Yes, story on how Jim Beaver, Kim Rhodes, and all y'all ended up on Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, and if you got to jam with Gary Sinise while you were there.
No, we didn't jam with Gary Sinise, but we all ended up on that show because Adam Glass was a writer on Supernatural, went over to Criminal Minds and was the showrunner and put us all on the show. I think it was you, me, Kim Rhodes, Jim Beaver. I think Osric ended up doing an episode. Matthew Cohen did a bunch of episodes.
Gil was in season 1, I believe.
Yeah. So it was solely because Adam Glass is a mensch. And
He wrote for Supernatural for several years, and he really loves the show, and he loves us, and he's just such a nice dude. And and he called each of us sort of separately and said, "Hey, I'm gonna have you on the show. This is who you're gonna play." We're like, "Fantastic."
Yeah, it was awesome.
We didn't jam with Sinise, like play music, but we talk. If jam means just talk to, we did that. He's a super nice guy.
Well, no, he's, the Lieutenant Dan Band, so.
He's Lieutenant Dan, yeah, totally. Yeah, we didn't get there, but we talked to him. A lot of times on those shows, the leads on those shows go through so many guest stars that they're just like, meh, whatever. But he actually took the time to say, hey, thanks for doing the show. You're doing great work, that kind of thing.
He's a great guy.
Very friendly.
Adam Glass too, the same thing. Just kind of brought us all over, and it became, mini Supernatural / Criminal Minds. I thought it was a great idea.
yeah, there's some people who were on that show in post-production, like Todd Aronauer and some other people went with Adam to do that show as well. So he really utilized that Supernatural family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Since Gil kept avoiding the question, what are your guys' favorite dance moves?
Sitting on the wall watching other people dance. That's my favorite dance move.
My go-to is the Running Man. I haven't done that in a long time. It dates me.
Well, I'm gonna do mine with you since my favorite dance is the jerk, and it's kind of just the opposite direction of the running.
man, the jerk.
You guys let's not rekindle.
Forgot about
Let's just calm it down. Put the smile away, Rich. Let the wheels stop turning. We're not doing it. And Robbie and I doing our dance moves. Woo! Doesn't feel the same. Every year I get older, I feel like I move less and less. Like
I feel like a Bell Biv DeVoe all over again. All three of them.
I had forgotten. I'm not gonna bring the jerk back to the.
Why
the
are we even
here.
talking about it?
But
you brought it up. I finished it up.
there was back in the early days of karaoke when Matt and I were playing to very small rooms and desperate to keep the energy going. Matt used to do the jerk, but in every solo, we didn't have Moose Knuckle Alley for people to run down and do fives. Every solo, and it could be a quick 4-bar thing or Bohemian Rhapsody with a long instrumental break. Matt had to do the jerk all over the stage. He would just
And Rich really loved that bit.
Yeah, because I would say, now Matt's going to jerk it on stage. And here goes Matt to jerk it.
Well, and then when I came back and started sort of accompanying you guys, you had a lot of the big crowd. Karaoke was a big thing. And it was just phasing out because Matt was like, no more. But I was trying to be in with the cool dude. So I was like, Matt, jerk it! It's not happening, Robbie, so...
Oh, it's so funny.
It's actually Aldous Hodge's fault. Do we all know Aldous Hodge? Everybody out here? By the way, he's just booked a huge show opposite Kevin Bacon. I don't know why, I read it somewhere. But one day I was in my hotel room. Aldous Hodge was the first Q&A on a Saturday, and I got a phone call to my hotel from my handler, and she was like, Aldous just called you out on stage right now, says he needs you to come down and dance. So that's what happened. I got called out by Aldous Hodge, and he taught me how to jerk it all over the stage. Thank you, Aldous. There you go. American thanks you. Was this a question we just answered? What happened? Oh, right.
Thank you for your question. It's been a long year. You.
Hi.
Hi.
So, the Saturday Night Special is my first concert ever, so I was wondering what your guys' first concert experiences were.
Rick Springfield. With the motels opening up.
Oh, that's cool.
Suddenly last summer.
Where?
In St. Louis, Missouri. I was from Columbia, Missouri, and they played in St. Louis, and Rick Springfield was my hero at the time. Really loved Jesse's Girl. It's
How old were you?
One of my karaoke go-tos. Probably 14. And it was awesome. They had great shows, both bands, and then Rick Springfield was on Supernatural.
That's awesome.
And I feel like I had my shot. I could have been like, Rick, join us on stage. Jesse's Girl.
I kept hoping that we would see him at one of these conventions.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to have Rick sit in with Loud and Swain. I mean, how sick would that be?
Well, never lose hope.
Never lose hope. I think my first concert, my parents took me and my sisters to see Donnie and Marie. We went to see it. How old were you? 6 or 7. We went to see the Donnie and Marie because they had a TV show back at the time that I watched as a kid. And so we went to see Donnie and Marie at the Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. And so that was the first concert I went to with my parents. First concert I went to. By the way, who did you go to Rick Springfield with? Was that by yourself or mom and dad?
No, it was like my best friend Kurt and I think my sister Nancy.
So yeah, you were chaperoned by the sister.
Older sister. Yeah.
So the first concert I ever went to without parental supervision was U2 for the Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
That was a great concert.
tour.
Yeah. So it was a big leap from Donnie Marie to U2.
To Bono.
It's a lot of years between the two as well. Matthew?
I was 13. The venue was called the Chili Pepper in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and it was Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, wow.
It was a room about a quarter the size of this room, which was incredible. There was maybe 150 people, 250 people at the most in the crowd. It was also the same time I had my first mosh pit, and subsequently my first black eye. So, lots of memories there.
First broken tooth.
What's the coolest concert you've ever been? Or like it doesn't have to be the biggest band or anything, but the one you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a small club seeing these guys or whatever.
I saw I won tickets on the radio to see Jane's Addiction at the Roxy.
Oh, wow.
So the Roxy's like this little club on Sunset Boulevard. So I'm right up, like, in front of Perry Farrell, like right there. So that was awesome.
That's awesome. That was, funny enough, the one I was thinking for myself that was the coolest. Well, two things. Number one, do you remember the Coconut Teaser back when that existed?
Totally, yeah. We played there.
I went there to see, with my buddy Sam, to see another band, but the band who played before them they hadn't released an album yet, but it was Weezer.
Oh, wow.
And that was awesome. And then I went to the Palladium. Palladium's one of the things just open, those seats, right? At that one. And I saw Pixies, Primus, Jane's Addiction. That was the lineup.
Wow.
That was a fantastic one.
Incredible.
It's kind of cool to remember those, moments.
There was a tour in like 1992 that I didn't see, but it was, the tour was, Smashing Pumpkins. It was Red Hot Chili Peppers was the headliner. Smashing Pumpkins and Pearl Jam. This was a tour. It wasn't like a Lollapalooza thing. It was like a smaller tour thing. Smashing Pumpkins and Pearl Jam were unknown, but that was the lineup.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine seeing that tour in a small club?
And I know it's a giant, like it's a huge stadium concert, but one of the coolest concerts I ever saw, bar none, was the Rolling Stones Steel Wheels tour. Because it was the last time they played with their original bass player, Bill Wyman. He left the band after that, so it was the last sort of original lineup before he took off to do his own, to get out of music. And the lineup was Living Colour, who I loved at the time, Guns N' Roses, Rolling Stones, and that was an unbelievable concert. Unbelievable. Matthews?
I recently, last 3 years ago, got to see the XX at the Hollywood Bowl. It was amazing. I'm a big fan of that kind of style of music at this stage of my life, and that was my first time at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, Hollywood Bowl is amazing. It's a great venue.
It's so good, and it's just the guy and the girl, and it's lasers and all sorts of weird, drugged out, spacey stuff.
I saw them at Coachella. They're great.
So good.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You.
Hi. I just wanted to say thanks for being my prom date last year, Rob.
No problem. My pleasure. It's a great time.
My question is for Matt and Rich.
It was obviously a really great time.
Sounds like that prom went fantastic.
It was awesome.
So I am going to JipCon, and I have a problem. I'm absolutely terrified of airplanes. Like, I can't even listen to a roar of an engine without freaking out. So I know that you guys have talked about having to travel a lot and having like a lot of like anxiety with that. Do you guys have any tips? Because I'm kind of afraid to fly over the ocean.
I do have a tip, and I think this will solve all your problems. Fly with Rob Benedict. It's Rob Benedict is don't be fooled by his sort of aw shucks demeanor on an airplane. He's confident. He's dialed in. He's relaxed. He's never been more like on point than on an airplane.
I'm very un-Rob Benedict.
Yeah, so you fly with Rob, and you figure like, well, if this is Rob's got it. Like, you feel like you're in good hands. If Rob's not freaking out, there's nothing to freak out
kind of get like that whole like Tom Cruise airplane movie thing when you're with Rob. He's so calm and like you're like, oh, something. If somebody does take over this plane, everybody's gonna be like, sit down, Rob's got it. And he's just run up the thing and take out his tactical pen and shank a guy in the neck and jump out the window with the whole.
Anybody know how to fly a plane?
Yeah.
I do.
It's like, everybody calm down, and I need a Bloody Mary. I'll be in the front. I'm gonna tell you something. Nailing it. When you fly with Rob, because not if, when, I'm sure you will. You guys went to prom. We can only go up from here. He gets really squirrely when you start removing his headphones to talk to him. He's really weird about that.
Yeah, just a couple of words of advice. If we do fly together and you're afraid of flying, just take it from my energy that everything's going to be okay. You don't need to tap me on the shoulder every time there's turbulence, like this guy does. I'm halfway through a movie and he reaches over and presses pause on my movie. And then goes, what are you watching? That's when he's nervous, he starts bugging me, like he can't just be by himself. So he's like, oh, what are you watching? Is it good?
And it just takes one little, like,
Did you feel that? Yeah, it's turbulence. He's like, yeah, you know what this is? Every time.
He's like, no, Rich, it was just a cloud. It was clouds in the sky. You fly right.
By the way, You stand down, sir, because you are a mess on an airplane. I am not listening to you.
Rich and I, together on an airplane, the worst day of both of our lives.
I flew with Matthew early on before I knew Matt was a nervous flyer. So Matt was in the middle, I was in the window. We both have headphones, kind of watching our thing, and there'd be a little bump, and we'd both go, out the window.
That's the thing, he has to have the window open every time there's turbulence. He opens up and it's white. You can't see anything. It's a cloud. We're in a cloud. That's why there's turbulence. And then, of course, I can't watch the movie because I'm blinded. Like, oh, Jesus.
That's why I hit pause for you.
I told him I'm next to the window and he reaches over and like knocks me in the face. Done. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it wouldn't kill you to take the headphones off.
Do you know what he's looking for? He's looking for the same thing I was looking for when I was previously scared of flying.
On the wings?
Yes! Attacking the engine like and just looking back at you, and Rich is like, oh God! It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright.
Yeah.
That's the same thing I
doesn't ever happen, ever.
Oh, not yet, but when it does happen, you're
gonna knock on wood.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you for pausing my movie. And for putting my headphone on my eye. Because I will say, one of the great joys I have is once I remove the headphone and he looks at me, if I let it go, it goes poof. On his eye.
Back in my face. I really haven't. One of the worst times we flew, besides the classic story, we flew back from Australia to Los Angeles, and I was getting sick. And we were all three sitting together, and you were so upset that I was getting sick. You did not want to get sick. You put the towel over the blanket over your head.
I was in the middle. We were in the 3 seats, and it was Rich and Matt and Rob. And I like to, take an Ambien and go to sleep when we're on a plane for 15 hours. But these two over here have things to say to each other, and it's just like, germs, 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 germs. And so I just wrap myself up so it's nothing but my eyes, and I'm like, I'm going to sleep. And I woke up sick. So, no big deal. Here we are.
Oh, Rob, he's exaggerating.
Does anybody have a vitamin C packet or some hand sanitizer I could drink?
Ruth does.
Anyway, so answer your question in all seriousness, fly with Rob. You.
Hi.
Hi.
So I want to say, Rob, I love you and you're my favorite.
Thank you.
But my question's for Rich.
Dr. Church is going to Matt. Yes.
Nothing for me. I'm not even your second favorite. I'll go stand back here, but just consideration would have been nice.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to get into directing?
You know what? Enough is enough with the directing, schmecting nonsense. He's good at it. He's got advice. Can you ask him to summarize it when he answers your question?
Just to make it quick. Here's my advice. It's real simple. In these days we live in, with all the technology, by God, if you've got a story to tell, you just tell it. Right there, kid, you in your pocket have something more powerful than I ever had access to as a youth. A digital phone. It shoots in HD. You've got a GoPro on your shoulder, it's flashing right now. You've got more technology on you right now than my entire house had.
More technology.
When I was growing up. So if you want to direct, you take out that phone. Take out that GoPro, write yourself a script, get your friends together and start shooting. And use your laptop to edit it. It's all your fingertips, all you have to do is motivate yourself. And be horrified. Tell those stories.
Stories.
Cut them together. Put them on the web for the audience.
On the web.
It's all right there at your fingertips.
Right in front
The
of
only thing stopping you from making a movie? You. So don't let you stop you. You're welcome. That's a very special episode.
I got kind of choked up.
Especially when it got scary. I was like, ooh.
You remember my shaky fingers?
All right, young lady.
Hi guys. My thing is actually for Rich. Rich, in case...
Should we use a different sound this time?
Sorry. In case you can't see my shirt, I'm actually here for Tim Omen's set.
Okay, great. Timmy?
Yes, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing a story about him.
Sharing a story about Tim? Well, just briefly update you guys on Tim Amundsen. You know, long time. I've known Tim since we were 18. We guys have known him for a decade as a group. Great friend, and Tim is doing. Tim suffered in February. He suffered a stroke, and so he had a very serious stroke, very intense stroke that involved surgery and a lot of rehab. He's doing great. He's kicking ass and taking names, but he is wisely not putting himself out on the road during this period. He is staying home and rehabbing and getting his body back to where it needs to be before he joins us on the circuit again, which hopefully will be soon in 2018. He is, by the way, just if you don't follow Tim on Twitter, please do, and tweet him fun, goofy messages, because he spends a lot of time on his phone reading messages from people and whatnot, and it really, when he's out, you know, he's no longer on the circuit with us for this time period. He enjoys hearing stories from the road and goofy photos and all that fun stuff. So if you have a spare moment while you're here, definitely shoot Tim a text or a tweet. Stories about Tim Amundsen. You know, one of my favorites that then Rob Benedict and I immortalized in the show we call Kings of Con. So the role played by Josh Myers was based on Tim Amundsen and written for Tim Amundsen. And because we were all in Vegas, because Tim's thing, like Tim's like, hello Richard, is how Tim was when we were 18. Tim is like, we're, you know, all Americans. He's Elizabethan. Like, it's really what it's. Methinks. Yeah. Hockey. I'm hungry. Like, he's just that guy. So
Shall we get Burger King?
The ascot and the whole nine. Like, that's just who Tim is. And so we were all in Vegas, and we were at a big table. For whatever reason, Tim just had a conniption fit over the au gratin potatoes. And he just went to town on them. And he's just like, oh, these are heaven. Each spoonful is delight. He's like screaming on his plate. We're like, help yourself to the potatoes, Tim. And then afterwards, so we introduced him on stage as Timmy O'Gratin, because we'd always called him Timmy O was his nickname. Timmy O'Gratin. And he was like, well, a normal guy would be mad because Tim is Elizabethan. He was incensed. Like, I resent that moniker.
He slapped me with a scarf.
I had a similar amount of potatoes. I recall everyone having a very similar serving of potatoes. I don't recall hoarding them as you would have it be. And we're like, I don't know, Timmy, really. Pretty much an empty platter went around after this talk. He was like, oh, you think you're so droll. Mocking my potato consumption.
Tweet it out that it's not true. Here's a pen and quill.
I give it to the bird and they shall tweet it. Truly, Tim is hilarious. And the other great Tim thing, if you haven't seen this, I think it still exists on the web, but we did a great, when we were doing the crowdfunding for Kings of Con, Tim was gracious enough to do a little video with Rob and me in the parking lot of a grocery store where it looked like we were stalking him and trying to get into our show, and it is worth watching because it's so freaking funny. And he gives us the finger and tries to hit us with his car. It's great. Tim's, you know, I know Tim since we were 18, and then had the great fortune of working with him on Jericho, which was awesome because here we are reunited there. And then when he joined the Supernatural family, it was just the best because he fits right in here with all these goofballs we play with, and you people get him, you know, you understand, he's just an awesome human being and a force to be reckoned with. And I will say it's been really great, not that you would wish bad health on anybody, but it's been very fortunate that in Tim's universe, Supernatural came in play because he had a stroke, and we happen to have a stroke survivor right here on our stage. So Rob has been just a great friend and ally and asset to Tim this entire time. Thank you for doing all that. Rob's been right there the whole time, sending him to the right doctors, and it's been really great. It's been really inspiring to see. So there's my Tim story. Send Tim some love. We miss him. We wish he were here. And when he gets here next time, it's going to be a heck of a thing.
Can't wait.
Hopefully it won't be a fortnight before we see him again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, you.
I was wondering, Rich and Rob, what it was like to work together on the Criminal Minds Beyond Borders episode, and Matt, what was it like just working on the show?
It was great for us. It was so fun. We've never worked together on prime time.
No.
Yeah, it was great.
One of the things I loved about it, and I think we commented at the time, we were just finishing Kings of Con, that we were in charge of everything. So it was nonstop. Awesome work, but non-stop work. It was everything from writing it to producing it to directing it to editing it to distributing, working in distribution and marketing, everything. So to go to a job where all we had to do was show up and act was fantastic. And they threw in some like Easter eggs about Kings of Con in there, and it was really cool. It was a relaxing delight. It was really, really cool.
And just funny, it's funny. It's almost really like as a little kid, you want to be an actor because so you could do the crazy, run, grab this, save yourself. And there was we definitely had that moment where you're dying, you're save yourself, I'll never leave you, do it. Do that kind of acting. Yeah, which is so, it's always really
I took a machete for you.
Yeah, just go.
I remember there's one scene, I don't remember where it was in the episode, but you guys were at a bar sitting next to each other, and I probably told you this, but I had an immediate flashback to the Kings of Con scene we filmed in NoHo.
Yeah.
It was the same beat, except these different characters you were playing, and for me I was oh, here we go, there's some funny, wait, is this a drama?
It was oddly similar to
These guys really care about it. This is undeniable chemistry right here happening on television.
And I played
Robbie.
My character's name, Robbie.
And then at the end, I named my baby after you, Robbie.
Robbie.
I thought it was a great name.
I saved on my on my laptop on the home screen. Just one day I got called to set. Robbie's character lives, and he has a couple more scenes than I do. But one day I had to go to set because I was a body, and so it describes when on a call sheet it'll describe what they need. It'll say Rob Benedict, and it'll say armed with his sidearm and his badge, explaining sheriff. It'll sort of be there. So mine it said Richard Speight Jr. and in parentheses dead, shirtless. Heavy duty acting that day, dead and shirtless.
That's what it'll say on the tombstone. Matthew, what about you? You actually had more to do. You got to...
Yeah, it was amazing. That project, like Supernatural, are pretty much one of two projects, I guess Kings of Con's in there now, that I've gotten to be clothed on, so it was cool. And specifically, working on Criminal Minds, I was, for an entire episode in which I was in every scene, I was covered except for my eyes, so... when you're constantly auditioning for hey, I'm the shirtless guy, you want to touch my abs? It's nice to do something else, and it's nice to just speak with your mouth and your eyes and let that try to tell the story rather than,
bottom.
Your chest, your bottom.
What about, and then you had
like you said shirtless and you went to bottom.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what we were talking about.
That's bottom.
I couldn't help it, I was thinking about your bottom.
It's okay. It'll do that to you.
You're undercover and you had the mustache.
Yeah, the beard and all that stuff was...
The bandana over your head.
I just felt so cool.
Yeah.
That was the best, one of the best.
You got to play young Gary Sinise.
Yeah, Gary Sinise's kid, and so, I got to just hang out with Gary Sinise for a couple weeks, and that was awesome. He's a great dude. He does a tremendous amount of amazing charity work for veterans, and the stuff that he's doing, he'll charter planes once a month and take handicapped veterans all over the place. Disney World, take their family. He's built houses for vets that have, lost all their limbs. He builds fully functional houses so they can live by themselves, and these men and women can take care of their family. It's such a positive dude. I felt so lucky to be a part of that. I felt so lucky that all my best friends were a part of it. It just was such a great experience. It's sad it's gone. It's sad it was short-lived, but it's a cherished memory for sure.
It's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen.